The energies are definitely intense right now. That full moon energy is here. And of course, that video will be coming out in just a few hours. But of course, we have so many things going on right now. Things are definitely intense right now. We got a lot of activity to get into, and I got something really special to show you guys. So, by all means, of course, let's get into it. Joe Sky back at it again with another update for you guys. So, as we can see, not much going on with the Italian Schumann Resonance, but we do have some red line spikes. Moving on from there, of course, it looks like the Etna Radio Observatory doesn't seem to have uh, doesn't seem to have any data going on right now. So things are definitely blacked out there. The other charts are kind of looking empty, and of course, in the magnetic field right now, the Etna Radio Observatory, we're getting some very intense activity right now. Normally, I don't really see a mix of colors like this, but as you can see, we're definitely getting that mix of colors right now. So things are definitely looking a bit intense. Looks like the Garonne magnetic field station is finally back up. It was off during the live stream, by the way. We've been doing some live streams, so hopefully you've been tuning into them. General Russian Schumann Resonance. We had this big line right here, just around hour 10 or so, right a couple hours before midnight, on December 30th. Um, got this big push of white line energy, really perfect white line energy. So this is integration energy. Overall, hasn't been too much going on. We have, of course, a coronal hole and an Earth facing position. So very interesting. This coronal hole on the top right now, that is more north in the sun. This one right here is facing us, but not anymore. But definitely is bringing a lot of plasma here. You're definitely, if you're feeling tired, it's not just a full moon, but it is definitely also this solar wind. For over 10 days, we have had a coronal hole facing us. It has been intense right now. So it has been pretty wild. And as you can see on the left side, things are crazy. That's a bright region right there. Those sunspots literally just appeared out of nowhere. And look how magnificent these sunspot regions are. This is something truly insane, honestly. I mean, look at the amount of sunspots we have. These all came up the last 24 hours, so it's pretty crazy. 4321, which is on the far right, is pretty large. 4324 is magnificent now. And this new one, which I'm guessing is 4325, that is huge. So these are pretty crazy, fast growing sunspot regions. As of lately, we haven't had anything, but the on the 29th, we had some pretty, or actually the 28th, pretty late, magnificent push of energy. We actually had another M class, believe it or not. Pretty small one though. I'm not gonna lie, these are some pretty crazy sunspot regions right now. Looking at 4325. Let's take a look at it right here. Actually has a pretty solid chance for an X class, a more than normal chance. This, let's see, which other ones have more than 1% usually, right? 4321, that's the one on the far right. That one's been slightly active. And yeah, overall, these are some pretty crazy um, sunspots. These are huge and fast growing here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. When you got these kind of sunspots, this massive group of sunspots coming out of nowhere, it's definitely something to be concerned about, because I think as this week goes on, we're going to get some serious activity. So whether that be M class, X class solar flares, whether we get a geomagnetic storm, I don't know, but these sunspot regions, specifically 4324 and 4325, are truly growing at some quick rates right now. I didn't think we'd have these sunspots just popping out of nowhere. Now we take a look at the coronal hole. We got ourselves, yeah, that's a pretty big coronal hole that was just, I mean, it's not facing us now, but it's still bringing in that energy. I don't think we're going to be having a coronal hole for a few days, or at least as this week goes on. As you can see, that sunspot regions, you can see this is like a bright region here. That brightness that you guys are seeing, that is all coming now. Pretty quick if you ask me. So this is an idea of, this is a bright region, this yellow. You can see that's where these sunspots are. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty massive, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come. So that first week of January, this week, it's gonna be crazy. This is some really interesting stuff here. This is definitely stuff you don't normally see. You know, this massive group of sunspots just coming out of nowhere, pretty insane. Especially at the rate they're growing, unbelievable. So we're gonna have to see what happens. You know, there was of course multiple M-class solar flares that could cause a geomagnetic storm, and if these start getting crazy and start getting some X-class solar flares, it's gonna be really intense. Now here's of course solar system scope, and as you can see, somewhere around January 7, 8, and 10, I forwarded up and whatnot. I really like this website. It's pretty cool. As you can see, we're having a pretty massive alignment right now. A really nice alignment. Maybe it won't be a perfect alignment, but as you can see, Mars, Venus, Earth, and Jupiter will be somewhat semi-aligned. So very interesting here. This is happening around January 8th. So things will definitely be getting pretty freaking crazy the first 10 days or so of January. And if you haven't already, check out the January forecast video to know what's going on. And of course, check out the full moon video, because that's coming out a few hours after this. Definitely be sure to watch the astrology based videos, because it really does correlate with all the ascension and everything that's going on and everything you feel. It amplifies everything. And if you didn't know, the moon has water in it. It does have ice. Well, it's ice. A lot of ice buried in the moon, which is very interesting, right? So, you know, definitely something interesting there. And again, water, most of our body is made of water, and water is energy. So that's why we feel the full moon, everything rise up. Definitely be sure to watch that video so you can do some good practices, learn some practices, so that you feel better during full moons. Besides that, I guess I'll finish off with this, and I'll finish off with something interesting here. So, I think a lot of people talk bad about the so-called healthcare system, and things like that. I talked quite a bit about it. I kind of smacked it this year, didn't I? I said a lot of things. And I definitely think a lot of those things are true, but then again, I guess the system is trying to work. It's trying to help. You know, there's people who go through a lot. There's people who sometimes need a doctor, sometimes need something, and obviously, I guess the system, it does help. So I don't want to make it look like what we're currently in doesn't work, right? It makes it more convenient for us. Transportation, cars, everything. But yes, things always come with a delay, a tech issue, or something. But at the end of the day, that's not an excuse. And of course, we need to do better as a community. Not a community, but like, they need to do better, right, with making technology, cars. Watch what they're doing with AI, right? Let's not throw it all out there, right? Like, people definitely gotta be careful with that stuff. You know, again, I'm not against AI, but I feel like at the rate it's ascending, it's unbelievable, right? Or being put out there, it's pretty quick. So, again, It's not a horrible system, but definitely could be done better. We gotta remember to focus on ourselves, right? Ascend, evolve, detox, heal. By all means, if you guys want some videos on these sorts of things, let me know. By all means, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.